Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Magic from Creativity for Sale podcast, a quick fire episode sharing tips and tricks from the pages of the book of the same title. Yes, Creativity for Sale. Every week I'll be sharing 1 or 2 ideas that could give you an actionable takeaway for your creative career, your business, or just a food for thought for the weekend ahead. These tips are taken from the audiobook and you can find a link to the full version in the show notes. I'm sure you've heard me on this podcast a million times saying, the market is only saturated if you look and sound like everybody else. And it's a sentence that I'm sure I use on every single episode and I potentially used as a guest on every single episode I've ever featured. It's a simple yet powerful notion because we've got options when we start our own creative service business. What do we do? Do we choose nothing and pursue our offer and business without any visual identity or, uniqueness? Or do we do what others do and try to emulate our chosen benchmark brand or studio and settle there? Or do we go to town and dial up whatever will make us look and sound like our best self and actually unique self? And this is the reason why I'm advocating in us, anyone having a strong identity, strong branding identity, assets and design systems to make us unique.
Build your unique identity. Your public identity often isn't the real you, i.e., the person you are in the privacy of your own home or when hanging out with friends. You might be the person who gets a little too tipsy at weddings and starts ranting to everyone about the current state of badly kerned fonts. But your professional identity should be a little more curated than that. And it should say something about the work you do and how you do it. The reality, as you might drunkenly tell people, is that these days every brand is starting to look the same. In a saturated market, this is bound to happen, and everyone starts to look and sound like everybody else across multiple industries and sectors. This is why the race is on for some companies to relaunch their brand with a more distinct identity to rise above the crowd. Yet even the modern refresh of many high-profile brands, products or startups is beginning to look alike. To build a unique identity, you'll need a visual brand toolkit consisting of a compelling logo, custom colour palette, and consistent typefaces and imagery, as these will build your brand equity and strengthen your visibility and reputation. But you will also really benefit from a suite of world-class assets, a strong presentation deck, snazzy animated visuals, a killer business card, website and easily shared portfolio. If you want to go even further, get branded clothing featuring your brand ID or some of your visual work. The latter will work wonders in securing a more emotional and empowering connection with your personal identity and values for potential customers, your employees, and even you. A little tip, put a QR code on the back of your shirt. Here, like a Choose Your Own Adventure book, you've got 3 choices on how to proceed. Do nothing and pursue your offer without any visual identity. Do what others do. Try to emulate your chosen benchmark brand and settle there. Go to town and dial up whatever will make you look and sound like your best self. Which will you choose? Okay, the correct answer should be obvious. Build your branded assets. Your suite of branded assets is arguably as important in making an impression as a specific project in your portfolio. Whether it's your project proposal, invoice, statement of work, presentation deck, or project contract, any effort to be consistently on brand will pay dividends. I've converted quite a few client inquiries into projects thanks to my estimate document design, as it inspired the prospect to see what even the smallest part of their business could look like. If you don't feel like spending too much time on your digital assets, there's many websites that offer ready-made templates. However, like your website design, remember any template can be purchased by countless others, and it's always better to stand out with something unique. Build your portfolio. Most of us are very familiar with the idea that less is more, but we have a hard time self-curating our own work accordingly. It's especially hard at the beginning, and it's easy to get carried away and want to show off everything we've done so far in the hope that whoever might need our services will find something they like enough to pick us from the pile of options. Personally, I used to be dreadful at curating my portfolio. When I was a newbie, a friend called me with an offer to work as an assistant for an established graphic designer, and this direct recommendation could have helped me secure the spot. When asked to send across my work, I didn't yet have a proper website or collated portfolio to highlight my strengths and signature style. So I decided to put together a folder with more than 80 pieces of totally random design work. Experimental gig posters, corporate business cards, brochures, logo sketches, and some vector illustrations and mixed media collages. It was a mess, and unsurprisingly, I didn't get the job. Although it's hard, it's vital to self-curate your portfolio and show only your best and most relevant work. Soon enough, your work will become synonymous with who you are as a creative brand. Your body of work is your visual, personal brand statement. But it will also keep changing and evolving, so you should update your website and folder as you progress in your career. If you're using your portfolio as a direct way of getting new work, you have to think and act like your potential clients. Ask yourself, what do they need to see? How do you get them to understand your core offering? Where will they look to find new suitable talent for their work? Do you offer a particular artistic style, or do you solve problems? The former might require a more visually rich collection to show versatility or diversity of application, while the latter requires a description of a problem-solving journey from start to finish, with supporting imagery and relevant stats that demonstrate your work's success. A visually rich portfolio can be curated according to client or sector, or different types of work. Alternatively, it might simply be a few case studies that detail your unique creative process. By contrast, a problem-solving portfolio should contain around 6 to 8 project case studies. In both types of portfolio, your supporting text needs to be strong and direct, ideally 400 words per project page, to showcase the logic behind the project. Once you've gathered your portfolio content, think about the best way to present it. Many creatives start building their portfolio on a website using a pre-made template, which you can do and add your own branding and personality later. However, the best sites are custom built to help you truly express your unique brand and demonstrate firsthand what you can do. Using social media as a portfolio is obviously simple, but it shouldn't be seen as an alternative to a standalone website, as they're just not the same thing, and you should really have both. A portfolio is a foundation of your toolkit as a creative business, and ultimately your own corner of the internet, which should get your prospects focused on what you have to say and offer. The main benefit of your website is being able to track incoming traffic and seeing who is interested in what you do.